Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Santa's Workshop. Well, today we are going to get started on the Corvette, getting it tore down. I was wanting to get the brakes done first so I could take it out for a test drive and see what else we're going to be running into. And since I can't seem to get the caliper repair kits, we're going to go ahead and start on getting the cooling system taken care of. And I want to get the nose cone off, get the hood off, and get the radiator and everything tore out. We got the Alloy Works, nice beautiful aluminum radiator there. Check out their link in the description. But we're going to get to tearing this thing down, seeing if there's anything hidden underneath that we want to get that we want to address. So let's get to it. Alrighty, I got the radiator drained, got the thermostat housing, which was leaking like a sieve, undone, so I'm going to clean all that up. I'm going to pull this here out since we're not going back with emissions, and that's where I'm going to put the temperature sensor for the fans. I'm going to put those right there. And I want to tell you something, that bottom radiator hose, you can see it going right there between the fan shroud down to the radiator. That is going to be a booger. So I think I'm going to buy a brand new one to put on there because I have no idea how old this one is. And I sure don't want that thing to blow. I'm going to do new heater hoses. Old red hoses, they're kind of stiff down below and they're leaking a little. So get new ones of those. Might as well go ahead and do a new water pump while I'm here. Oh, the list never ends. All right, I'm going to attempt to get this little sensor out of here. As I said, since we're not going to be doing the emissions, we're not going to need this. Really? Right in the water hole. Okay. There, now I don't have to worry about nothing getting in there. Go. That's the jewel. And out it goes. That was quick and easy. Threads down that hole look fairly clean. that should not leak. All right, everybody gets mad at me for using the universal wrench lock grips. I want to show you that thing was well rounded off, and they've cut the line and put a rubber line on it. So I get to deal with that. Yay! We're going to get this radiator out and get things cleaned up in here. Debating whether or not to go ahead and chunk out the money for air conditioning. I have found out that this thing has, I knew it'd been wrecked. I knew they'd done some repair on it, but I didn't know what kind of shoddy repair they had done. They repaired this without taking the front nose cone off. I'm sure you can see that mess. And I was going to try and clean that up and repaint this front end, which I'm still going to repaint the front end, and I want to try and clean this up. But they fiberglassed over the nuts to take the front end off. People, if you're going to take the time to fix a car, please do it right. I mean, the rest of this car is beautiful. And this fender right here, the way this lines up, you can see that is not right. It's sticking way up. It needs to be further back in. They knew when they did this that was wrong. But now it is glued on there. And unless you want to cut it off and go through the whole thing and putting another fender on, it's like that. Now, does that decrease from the value of the car? Yes, it does. Is it going to make it less of a car? No, it won't. This is going to be a nice ride when it is done. But it makes it more work for me. So, we're going to get this thing cleaned up. We're going to get it mechanically sound. We're going to get it looking beautiful. Paint job is going to come out real nice. Once I get a buffing wheel, I can buff this thing out, but I'm not going to touch the paint until I get all the mechanical done. So, let's get to it. All right there, everybody. We got the radiator out, finally. I won't have to find me some new fittings for this. They chewed those up really bad, top and bottom. But those are made for this way, so I should be able to find a couple of them fairly easy. Radiator itself was leaking. You can see where it was repaired, and you can see it leaking right down through there. So it was repaired, but they didn't get it completely. And there's that bottom radiator hose. Whole lot easier to get to now that that shroud's out of there. And that shroud won't be going back since we're doing a dual fan radiator from Alloy Works. I know I keep pushing them, but by golly, that's a good product. I really do like their product. Um, okay, everybody, got a question. Right now is the time, if I'm going to put air conditioning back in this thing, to do it. What do y'all think? Do I put air conditioning back in? Or do I just take it all out completely and not have it? I feel like it, if it come with air conditioning, it needs air conditioning. Now, the El Caballero, I'm going to be doing a serpentine belt system off of a TBI on here if I possibly can. If that's the case, new style air conditioner pump's going to be here. I had this compressor that works, which this is the exact compressor that came on that. And this has been converted to 134RA already. So, that being the case, I have the compressor. All I would need would be the condenser and whatever else they cut off between here and there. Probably the dryer, expansion valve. Well, I think I see the dryer over there in the fender, but when it's exposed to there, you need to put a new one in anyways. And that's all, and we're all depending upon the fact that the evaporator is still good too. So, it's, what should I do? What should I do? One thing that was concerning to me is when I unhooked the transmission lines, I got no transmission fluid out of them. Which means, I have been running this. It should have had fluid through there. Why did it not? So I'm going to have to check into that too. Brian has suggested pulling the engine and transmission out so we could do a complete gasket kit on it, not tearing into it, just putting pan gasket, front and rear main seals, tappet cover gaskets, clean it up, repainting it, and that'd give me a chance to clean up the engine compartment really well as well. Do I want to get that deep? I mean, I've got the lift, we can get underneath, unbolt everything, drop the transmission, get on the top side, pull that engine. It would be just slick and quick and would not take much. Give me your comments. Tell me what you think. I want to do a shout out to a good friend of mine, Sean Fowler. He runs Modified Auto Sound out of North St. Louis. Guys, I've seen some of his work. He is phenomenal. And he's offered to do a collaboration with me on the El Caballero when I get it done. So be looking for that. But man, he is suffering with the COVID right now. So please keep him in your prayers. Send good thoughts and energy his way, because by golly, he needs it, as well as everybody else out there suffering from this mess. But we're going to, next video, probably going to do a little bit on the Caballero, do a little bit more on the Corvette. I'm going to be sanding Jim's frame down in between. I'm not going to show that to you. That is boring as all get out. I might have just little clips here and there. But when I go to paint it, y'all will be present for that. Hopefully that'll be done here in the next couple of weeks. El Caballero, I'm working on getting the seats in. I will show you what I have done so far. These seats are made for a flat floorboard. That thing is far from flat. I think I said that before, but it's worth repeating. This is the bracketry I'm making in the back. I made it 3-inch, which would level it off. Well, with it leveled off, I couldn't get my head in the car. So I want to cut 2 inches off and mount that in there, or put that on the seat, set it in, see how that works. And we're going to probably have to look at cutting this front brace. I've cut it a little bit right there, as you can see. I tried to flatten it down. I'm probably going to have to cut it and go straight to the firewall take it straight down from the top and make a notch in it, which will be okay because that's really not bracing. That's not a major brace. It's just to keep the floorboard stiff, and with everything else I'm going to be putting in it, it'll be stiff. And have to make a mount right there. May have to cut that one down. So yeah, this is going to be a fabrication process on this, but it will look factory when I am done. Alrighty, that's going to do it for today. Thank you all so much for joining me on this journey. I'm at 17,200 plus. Guys, I would really like to see 20,000, if not 25,000 here within the next month or so. With y'all, I can do it. Please give me a shout out. Definitely want to be to 25,000 before my 1 year anniversary. My very first video dropped in March 31st of last year. So let's push this thing. Give me to 25,000 before that 1 year's out. Guys, love you. Thank you for joining me. See you next time. Santa's Workshop.